Ain't no party like a Diddy party, cause Diddy ain't gonna party no more in here. In here. Oh my god, bro. It breaks my heart when I think about it, just because, again, big, huge supporter of his music. Young kids today are probably like, oh my god, you're crazy if you supported Diddy. How in the living hell did anybody know back then? Diddy's been making nothing but smackers, or producing rather, say nothing but smackers since like the early 90s. Who in the hell knew? You think if they knew, they would be in there two-stepping? I was a kid, bro. I was a tiny kid. Like, you get me? Diddy was known for making smackers, from helping produce Juicy to making shit like We Ain't Going Nowhere. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And that place is prison. Oh my god. They shared some crazy information today about P. Diddy that we went over. We heard about Fousey saying that he saw Trey Songz sitting on Diddy's lap before, like he was about to ask him for something for Christmas. Insane. We heard the charges given to Diddy today, and it's a wild racketeering case. It's a wild racketeering case. The main one we know is trafficking, but there's many more. In this video, I haven't got to see. I saw one clip that talked about Diddy having like 1,000 lube bottles and baby oil in the crib. Like, nah, that's crazy. What was the nigga trying to repopulate Earth? Yo, I see that, and I'm the DA searching around. I see endless baby oil and butt wipes. I added the butt wipes. I'm gonna keep it honest. I added the butt wipes right now. They haven't talked about that, but nah, there has to be. How you wiping all this shit up? Toilet paper? There's no way. Napkins, Bounty, and that's gonna give you rashes. This nigga got wet wipes everywhere too. They saying baby oil and lubricants. Like, nah, this nigga was trying to repopulate Earth. Like, imagine being the one touching shit and they're like, oh, what's in this box? All right, baby oil. That's baby oil, baby oil, baby oil. All right, lube, KY. Like, nah, this is insane. I hope that nigga had gloves on. He need that room rated light. Like, nah, you're nasty. You're nasty.
Definitely use the black light.
It's gonna be shining just like, oh man.
Oh my god, gross.
It's one of those scenes. You're nasty. Oh my god. All that nigga's carpet and boxes was crusty. Like, nah, now y'all know why. There's body fluids everywhere. Let's see what they talked about in this law and crime video. This one's quite of a long one, but I'm super curious to see this. I only saw a 2-minute clip once again talking about lubricant and baby oils. If that's there has to be more. If that is there has to be more. Why all killers like creating tapes and holding it up like they victims and shit? That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought they were trying to get rid of the evidence. Allegedly, these niggas record themselves doing crimes. Like this man, he was recording like freak-offs and then just keeping the evidence. Like, how wild does that sound? I thought a camera would be the last thing you want in that room. That's how I know I'm not fully crazy. That's how I know I'm not fully crazy. Because if you're doing any type of crime, my brain doesn't process on why you would want that credibility. Or what they say allegedly, I think, to those niggas like rewatching it over and over. That's wild. That's wild, G. You have no guilt. You have no guilt in your body. Because if I do anything bad, I can't sleep at night. You get me? I can't sleep. I can't eat. Because I'm like, how'd I do that with my, like, you get me? The channel, like the video. At 10,000 subscribers, we will be doing an unboxing as we usually do, but that won't be a little bit different. That will not be lube or no baby oil, but whatever it is, we will be giving it away at 10,000 subscribers. So get to it. Sub up.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery.
Arson, Kid Cudi's car? That's what I keep thinking. They're charging him with arson now? Is that Kid Cudi's car? Again, we don't know anything, but remember, during the Cassie thing, they're saying that she allegedly was messing with my guy Cudi. Moon Man, oh my God. Diddy, you put your little nasty fingers on Kid Cudi. I would have choked that nigga myself. I would have put Diddy in one of these shits myself right here, nigga. Special delivery, I brought it, nigga. Special delivery, I brought it, nigga. That nigga would have put his little hands on Kid Cudi. Oh my God. I would have found that nigga, all jokes aside. I would have found him myself, Paul. Actually, that's not a nigga you want to find. Nah, Cudi, you on your own. Now that I'm starting to think about it, that's not a nigga you want to run into. You would run into the catch the fade and you just get dizzy. And fall out, you gonna wake up with your ass hurt. Nah, that's a fight I'm not willing to take.
I wouldn't, shot.
But was the arson Kid Cudi's vehicle?
And the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers. some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-off.
Crazy. I told you guys back then that name was too creative to be fake too. When they said freak-offs, I'm like, nah, the Cassie can't be lying. That name's too creative to just come up with creatively, like off the top and a lie. Diddy was a part of that. Diddy was a part of that. Freak-off, insane. That's how you know them old niggas is nasty, because they always talk about like the 90s. What was that party in Atlanta that they used to do? Freak Nick. Y'all some creative, nasty niggas, bro. Like, oh my God. Also, do not forget, this is the same crew in New York City that came after Jeffrey Epstein. The exact same crew. So, oh, this is looking terrible for Diddy. This is looking terrible. Some people are saying that when we saw him going around talking to G Depp and all these other people throughout New York City and like showing his face around South Beach and New York City around the fans, it was really just as good. But that was his farewell tour.
Yo, what? Yo, we on Linux? How? Yo, this is Diddy on Linux. Yo, Diddy's on Linux? He's here.
No, Diddy. Really?
That's really Diddy, bro.
Lying. Bitch, stop touching me. What are you talking about? Stop touching me.
Hey, yo, what's up?
That's crazy. Where Carisha? Where Carisha and them? No, well, guess who's not? Watch how I won't.
Oh, that's crazy. I thought he saw him already. There's a warm boy on outside. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh, that's crazy. I thought he saw him already. There's a warm boy on outside. Let's see.
I think he wanted to do a farewell tour himself.
And he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kick, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair.
Come on, what's he explaining? He's running down a hallway doing the 40-yard dash. This nigga ran down like Xavier Worthy. This man ran down like an NFL prospect down. I was like, oh my God, I was scared through a video seeing that shit. And what did he do? He kicked, punched, slapped, and threw a vase or a lamp. Remember that was sitting there? He threw it at Cassie. Come on, son. I can't show all the hit kicking and slapping, but I can show him running down that hall, and that was terrifying. Basically, we're being told right now in another way before the trial even starts that Cassie, when she was trying to run out and she got dragged back into that room, there was a freak off going on in there. I don't even got to say the word alleged because I didn't say it. I'm just repeating what Professor X said over here. I didn't say it. He said it.
On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so the
Specifically,
Cassie.
Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates.
I didn't even think of that. We've been yelling Diddy this, Diddy that, did he do it? No, Uncle Murder. Who he do it with was the question. It's racketeering. They're gonna charge his employees. Like, yo, imagine me doing something at work. I'm on 9 to 5 and I get charged with it. No, hold on, what? I just came here for work. These niggas told me to do it. I didn't even know. I thought it was part of the Diddy enterprise. Like, you gotta stock mini fridges if you work for the hotel in the mini bar. How about if one of them niggas have to go stock a mini bar full of lubricant? I don't know what that freaky nigga doing with this in here. I don't know what that nigga doing. He's doing slip and slides down the hall in the hotel. You that rich? I don't know what he's doing. He just told me to make sure you bring a mini fridge to the 19th floor. When you get to the 19th floor, put the mini fridge temperature at 69 degrees. That's how I like my lube. Stack it till you can't stack no more. Make sure you leave one baby oil to the left side of the room, a second one to the right side of the room. I wouldn't know what this nigga's doing with it. I wouldn't even want to ask. Do I get charged now? Do I get charged because I was the lubricant mini fridge stacker?
Is to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and
so to answer my question, yeah, you about to get charged. Okay. There's a nigga in there rolling up for Diddy. Like, yeah, I just need you to roll my shit and stack my mini fridge for me. Don't ask me no questions on why I want that in the mini fridge. And you that nigga that just goes and tries to go make a job for yourself, you're over here rolling up, stacking mini fridges, and now you doing life in jail for a RICO charge. This is crazy.
Lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced.
That's crazy. Diddy gonna call you and tell you what you experienced? Like, nah, I'm pretty sure you never gonna forget exactly what you would experience in there. You get me? Like, you don't gotta explain that again. You're gonna be calling me, like, calling niggas like screams on the phone. Like, nah, hold on. I don't, that just even sounds scarier.
What's up?
And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. Part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
Remember, we always ask that question when the raid happened. Did they find any video involved in the freak-off? And it sounded like it's yes. That's exactly what happened. Crazy. Remember, 50 also said that he received a video back then when he was beefing with Diddy. People were sending him of Cassie, and he was like, he ended up calling Diddy and was like, yo, people just sent me this and this and this. Like, I guess their beef wasn't that serious at the time. Or maybe they weren't even beefing yet. And Diddy was like, yo, that's lit. Thank you so much. Yo, how'd you get this? Like he wasn't surprised. Like, he's seen it already. What you mean by that?
On the up and up, the nigga Puff, like, he called, we used to kick it on the telephone and shit, after the made shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow.
Are you kidding me, yo?
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Fifth.
all that. And I called the nigga, I said, yo, you fucking with this girl? Like, you really, like, you like her like that? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send you something. You look at it, you call me back. I sent him the photos, the pictures and everything. And the nigga called back and was like, yo, thanks, man. Yo, I really appreciate that. Yo, where you get these shits from? And I said, you know, like, because they know, like, if something crazy is going on, if they send it to me, I'll make sure it get out there. Like, as far as this 50.com is concerned.
Yeah, yep.
And those other properties. So they sent it to me. But, you know, I really kind of felt like those photographs was not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves away from a man and she upgrading, niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like whoever the guy where she was with in the photos versus where Puffy's at. Cause Puffy's, he ain't no spouse, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, he's been able to take.
And they seize cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
He had a BJ's or a Costco membership, and he was just buying ass loads of baby oils, is what you telling me? Or did he have a Johnson & Johnson plug? Like, imagine Johnson & Johnson was like, nah, for some reason, he keeps asking us to keep sending promotional. He'll do free marketing if we send him baby oils. I don't know why. Can't put it together. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches.
They gonna show the baby oil and the lubricants? KY, here we come. That stock is going.
As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity.
Weapons. I was over here like, hey, yo.
And it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition.
And just alone for the defaced AR, bro. Oh my God. Scratching serial numbers off the weapon, yes, oh Lord. Just that alone. Let's say he gets not guilty for everything else, and he gets guilty just for that one charge. You're doing crazy amount of time.
Parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
Crazy.
Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4-HSI. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voice.
Imagine all the calls that they're getting. I know niggas in New York are gonna be trolling too. I know niggas in New York gonna be trolling. Remember when the raid happened in LA, homie drove by in like the Bentley and was trolling? He wasn't even saying the truth. And the only reason I say that is because I believe a family member, I think his mother came out and exposed him, or somebody else came out and exposed him later on that he was capping and he was joking and trolling. So imagine all the calls that they're getting that are real, not real. Like, how would you even be able to separate
voices and help bring this criminal conduct to light? We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SCNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SCNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleeper and Jacqueline Kelly. They are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Eric Katursky, ABC. Thanks, Nick. Damien, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs, and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. And tell you why it took so long, I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today, and we are committed to making sure that justice is done. Next question.
Julia Ainsley, NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
I'm thinking, could it be allegedly like drug charges coming soon? Remember, his boy was arrested at the airport when they were all about to dip that white boy that looked cracked out, and he wasn't cracked out. He was pink cocaine out, allegedly. Allegedly. You gotta sprinkle that in everywhere. But he was arrested. Is he singing? By the looks of his mugshot, it looked like he was gonna sing, but we shall see. Yeah, we shall see. Let's see if he takes a page out of YSL Woody's book. I don't recall. Let's see if he hits him with that.
What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prostitution?
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. I don't think we should get into the nitty-gritty of a legal discussion right now, but the sex trafficking, we believe, they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
Is one more coercive than the other?
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up, and yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC 7 New York. Thank you for this press conference.
Serious penalties like life in prison it can go up to.
And for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? It's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have.
The incident of the arson incident, I'm thinking it's the Kid Cudi thing. All jokes aside, there's no, with everything that he keeps coming out with in stories, maybe it was something else. But the arson incident, you gotta understand how they talk. Like he said, He said multiple for a reason. The way he said incident, I'm thinking is one incident, and that one incident is the Kid Cudi one. I don't recall. Allegedly, Kid Cudi was in his crib, and he's like, damn, it smells like barbecue outside. And his car blew up like casino and just in the air. Again, I exaggerated for sure. He never said it smelled like barbecue outside. But allegedly, he looks out the window and his car blows up. Like, that's insane. And the only reason we got to continue saying the word allegedly is because they have not yet said it was the Kid Cudi incident. What else? Even though with a moment like everything after we keep hearing Diddy's name, actually it could be a lot else. You're right. We don't know yet, but I think that's, if I'm a gambling man, that's what I'm betting.
In the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points, but we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him.
Stevie J going to jail? Like, is Stevie J... This is, again, I don't know anything. I'm asking you guys questions at this point, but I've been seeing Stevie J still holding this nigga's hand skipping down Collins Ave. So what's coming from this? He was just riding bicycles and shit with Diddy, Stevie J. They were just walking around. People said they were recruiting around South Beach still. Like, it was crazy. Is Stevie J gonna be a name that we hear in this?
Out here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie.
Diddy is out and about in Miami, and he's even speaking now too.
Where's our stuff at? There's a lot of pressure. Well, ask him if he did it. I love it. Love man.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins. Any indication that some of the women or victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and were not allowed to leave? And also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it, the Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from, it's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As to your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video, where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it. That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
So basically, you don't want that crew to come after you. Again, Jeffrey Epstein, that's another name he just can't bring up right now, but they're the ones that went after him and I guess many others. Was R. Kelly in Chicago where he got indicted? I'm not too sure. We'll look it up. If I find it, I'll add it to this video.
Thanks a lot. Does your office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY in terms of the element?
All right, perfectly. Right there, we received the R. Kelly question.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There's a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
Johnny Dees, New York Daily News.
No bail.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residence? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance, some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 DeFace AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts, along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So, some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody.
Right there.
I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs' safety in custody, given what happened with Epstein?
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So, but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pre-trial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case, and I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will.
Yo, talking about Glendale Maxwell, I believe that's her name, her first name correctly. Cassie was with him for mad long. Does that get brought up in anything? Like, does that, because she said she was looking up people and hiring people for him. Does that get brought up in anything? Or just because she jumped out before this came out and charged him with it and brought this to light, she avoids jail time? Like, how does that work? I'm not in legal law, so I don't really understand everything going on, but I do have some questions that I hope are answered throughout the trial.
We'll say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally, and with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity and no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations. I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed, as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Thanks. Last question, Jacob Shamison.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators as well?
I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today.
Guys, a lot came out of this. The fate of what's going to happen during this trial is going to be insane. Obviously, he's going to say not guilty, I believe. But if you take guilty for this, you're going to do the rest of your life in prison anyways. He has a lot of money. He's probably going to spend a big chunk of it on the legal defense right now, but he has no option. He has no option. This is something he has to do. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We will be doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. We will be giving away the unboxing that we do at 10,000 subs. So sub up, sub up, sub up. We've still been watching the live stream, waiting for Diddy's lawyer and his family to come out the courtroom. As soon as that happens, we will be on it. Subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Please share your thoughts. This is getting crazier and crazier by the minute. I didn't think we were going to get any crazier trial in hip-hop anytime soon after that Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, but as what is looking like, this is looking like it's going to blow it out the water. Sub up, sub up, sub up. Oh, man. Oh, man.